So here in a few minutes, we're going to have Alexis. What is her last name?
Alexis Nelson, the producer from a Savanna haunting.
Yes.
And so we just wanted to say hi to you guys, and until she's going to pop in here any minute. How's everyone? Oh, you just finished the movie. It was good. Awesome, Nick. That's great to hear.
Dude? Yeah, good, Nick. Yeah. Did you enjoy it? I would hope so. So this is going to give you all the opportunity, too, that y'all could ask questions. Y'all could do that stuff. So this is going to be a different type of live than we normally do, just so you guys know.
Yes. And you'll be able to ask Alexis questions. She'll have some interesting stories for you guys. So we're really excited. She is so great.
Yeah.
Easy to talk to. It's been a real pleasure being able to connect with her, and also to be able to do this investigation coming up in 2 days.
Yeah. I'm going to lower this just down a little bit here. Well, you can do that.
Oh, sure.
I can do it. So when we're doing the two screens, whatever, we have to do it like this. We can't do it like, horizontal. So it's okay. Sorry. But we can see your chats and everything is good. So yeah, if y'all can share this live, that would be awesome. Looks like there's 6 people. So everybody, we're just waiting on Alexa. She is the producer of the Savanna Haunting. Yeah. So, and good friends with the guy that we're going to his house to investigate from the movie. So
he goes by Mark, but his name is William Mark McCullough.
Yep.
He is an actor, and he's also whose home this is that we're going to investigate. And he wrote the movie and also directed it. And so we will be meeting Mark. You guys will be meeting Mark with us on Thursday when we go to do the live there.
Short time because he's going to give us the free range.
Yeah.
But y'all should definitely ask him some questions. And, he's done a lot of interviews, it looks like. So I think he's really good. But yeah, we're just waiting on her. So.
Oh, while we're waiting, the device I forgot on.
Yeah. So we have a surprise.
Yes.
It's not in here.
It's on the fireplace.
It's on the fireplace. But anyways, Kurt Horiachi sent us this. It came in today.
SB7 Spirit Box.
Yes.
So we did get one. Thank you so much, Kurt. We really appreciate it. And to you guys. Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Add. There you are. Hi.
Hey.
Everyone, this is Alexis Nelson. She is the producer from A Savanna Haunting. And is in Kathy. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, good. Just got home. There's some traffic, but we're here. I'm in California, so it's not very spooky here at all, actually. It's quite the opposite, which is a relief because you guys all get to go and check out this super spooky house, and I'll be here in California hearing about it.
Yes, you will be. Well, and hopefully some way we're going to figure out to bring you with us. Whether we do.
You're more than welcome to come join us. You can fly in tomorrow. I mean, we'll be at Savannah Airport right away. Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't want to do that.
So everybody in the chat, Alexis, I told you there's a little bit of a delay from the live broadcast to the live chat. So when we watch people talk, they're listening to us from like 60 seconds ago. Mm-hmm. But everyone say hi to Alexis, and also so she can see what the chat looks like here on YouTube. Oh, there we go.
Can you see the chat from your side, Alexa?
Let me see here. I see
I think it just pops up whenever somebody says something.
Okay.
Hopefully. So there was one guy in here named Zach. He said he's already seen the movie, so we were waiting for his. Nick. We were waiting for his feedback.
Oh, we're just mentioning to our viewers that a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And
he lives close to you in Colorado.
He supports the channel. He said, "Hi, Alfred. Can you see?" Okay.
Yeah, she can see.
He bought us an SB7 Spirit Box. So we will be bringing that with us this Thursday. And also a thank you to everyone else that has supported us. Lauren, you were big. Aussie Steve was another one. There's quite a few of you guys, and we want to thank you very much for that. Would have been great to have her on the hunt. Oh, there you go.
That's
well, I'll be here in spirit, so I'll come on with TikTok or whatever they decide to stream with. I think it's TikTok. So I can join in and watch and comment.
We'll be doing our live on YouTube, but we're also figuring out how we could do it with you on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have a couple devices going and doing the live
stream.
Slowly but
surely we're figuring it out.
Yeah. So we're just putting the last finishing touches together, and we're also waiting for a big email. Hopefully it'll come tomorrow with a broadcast message. The email that I sent.
Yes. Yeah, you told
so
me.
We'll. Yeah. Hi Terry.
Hey.
I mentioned you. Sorry, Alexis. I apologize. I mentioned to where we were going to outreach to, and that's where we're waiting to hear back on tomorrow. We'll get the answer if it's going to be broadcast. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, cool.
There's Shannon. Hi, Shannon. These are our regulars on the live here, and they're with us on almost every live. Cheering us on.
Hey, Zach. Hey, Alfred. Hey, Terry. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Lauren again. LO in spirit on a ghost hunt. Yep, you got that one. Yeah, that's a bad joke. I have a lot of bad ones. Let's see. I'm excited about your new spirit box. So have you guys opened it yet?
Oh, yes. That's the first thing I did. Pop the batteries in it, but
it worked.
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
Yes,
basically,
it was.
It's like it's almost like a radio, and it just like scans through the frequencies, and then it just pause every now and then and say something. So we're gonna get those noise canceling headphones for her,
and we're gonna go out to a place tomorrow and do a brief investigation to test the equipment out.
I you should try it tonight. Here,
if we were, I'm not gonna waver on that one. I won't do it in the house, but I'm more than glad to do it.
Yeah, she told me to go outside and
we'll do it outside because I just don't want to,
attract the spirits.
Open up any doors in our home here.
No, that's really smart, actually.
So, but
I'm all for it though.
But because of where we're located, this property and all the houses and everything's built on, there's going to be stuff popping up. So we could go outside pretty soon and test this out.
Yeah.
Well, what is we had I think I mentioned we had a team out here recently. They're from Detroit, and they've done a ton. They're super pro. They've done a ton of these things, and they left the house a day early because it was so bad. Went back to Detroit. They drove out, drove all the way back after one day, and then he had a new spirit box that he just had received, and he was testing it out at home. He just wanted to see what it did, and it actually started connecting to some of the spirits back at the house and naming the same spirits, and the same people were basically all the way back in Detroit were connecting. So that's, I was just curious, you guys haven't even been there yet, but maybe I don't know, who knows what will happen. There's something really strong there.
Yes. And
there's 10 people in here. You should introduce her again.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There was more people came in here. I just want to introduce you again.
There's everyone, welcome Alexis Nelson from A Savanna Haunting. She was the producer and the woman behind it all.
Hey, you guys. Unfortunately, Mark, I tried to get Mark here tonight, but it's a little, he's dealing with some things, how the house can be. So
no worries.
He'll be letting these guys in on Thursday. But yeah, this is the house that we filmed A Savanna Haunting in. There's two main locations, which this is how we actually connected our groups together, right? Because he had information and had been to one of our locations, which was in Richmond Hill. It's a plantation. So if you've seen the movie A Savanna Haunting, you see that it's based about a plantation that burned. And so that property is where we did film the plantation. But everything else was shot in the house, the main brown house. And so for them, he's a producer, director, writer, William Mark McCullough, and this is his family home. So he wrote the script based on the characters aren't the real people that were there, but a lot of the experiences, feelings, that we've had, the vibe of the house, and things that people have told us, and we've started connecting through historians, paranormal investigators who come in. It all surprisingly ties in more than we even realized to the narrative film.
Mhm.
So they've, so we got in contact, and thankfully, like, they're, local enough that they can come on out and check out the house, and we're going to see what they find. And that's this Thursday at 7:30 Eastern time.
Alfred, to answer you, yeah, we do feel like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
We're really stoked about it.
So if anybody wants to ask her questions, please do.
Yeah, anything about the movie, it's funny. Mark was like, I don't even need to be on it because there's nothing about the movie they want to know. They just want to know about, like, the ghost there. He's like, how come nobody has any questions about the movie? So yeah, if you have any questions about the movie, we'd be happy to answer anything about character. I don't know if we're doing spoilers, but if you want to talk about that stuff, we can a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can answer anything. Okay, here we go. So at the end, they are trying to find the rest of the family. Did they ever find them? Well, not in this movie.
Oh, see, there we go.
That's
So Lauren has known me for about 5 years when I started this channel, and Lauren was a firefighter for 25 years in Canada, and I was a firefighter for 10 years. So me and him just hit it off really nice. So he's my buddy, 100%.
yeah. Oh, and mine too now.
We're trying to get him across the border, but little legal problems, No.
Oh, whatever.
There's people, you got like ghosts to spirits to help you figure something out.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
There's got to be a way to get him over here, right? Like some ghosts or something that can.
Yeah, if he would come, he wouldn't want. Yeah.
You know what I wanted to bring up was
He said, would have
as yesterday. So we had our next door neighbor lady, Miss Jean, over for supper, and was that yesterday?
And
was that Alexis yesterday?
Yeah,
when
that was
okay.
it.
So we had her over, and she wanted to watch this movie, A Savanna Haunting. Mm-hmm. Which, Josh and I are like, oh, and she wanted to see it. So I was messaging Alexis saying, take a look at what we're watching right now. And I sent her a screenshot of us watching the movie. And she's like, I would love to get Jean's take on what she thinks of this movie. And this is a little 87-year-old lady, and she is full of spunk. And let me tell you, she tells it like it is. So we were asking her questions, and my gosh, I was trying so hard to keep a straight face, but she had such wonderful answers for everything.
She did. I really did think she had good answers right now.
I cut a little bit shorter. Like when you sent me that video, I was curious because if you've seen the movie, you know that it is not PG. It's not even PG-13. It's not the kind of thing that you would show your kids. Like,
right.
Grandparent, my mom like finally watched it. She waited like, a long time because I say her early screeners. I'm like, oh hey, check this out. Like, no, I can't. It's too much. It's too scary. She finally watched it. But it's like when I'm talking to my daughter's kindergarten aftercare teachers and people, they're like, oh well, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I just we just made this movie and it's out there. Oh, like where can I watch it? What, tell me all about it. I'm like, oh, well, it's not I was like, it is a very it's a scary movie. So it's particularly there's things that I would be a little worried about, like the preschool or kindergarten teacher seeing. But it's like, here's the thing, like people love these kind of movies too. It's a thing, like they're not always teaching kindergarten. Like they go home and they like to watch a scary movie on the weekend.
Right.
So I know it was really fun to hear what Jean thought. She like, which I just want to know what she thought about the pool scene. So if you've seen the movie, there is a scene and there is some nudity in it, and it's something I would feel very like awkward sitting and watching with like my grandmother. So I wanted to know what she thought about it, and she was hilarious. Like, I want to watch it with her now. Like, I think that we would.
I wouldn't let her around my kids, that's for sure.
That would have kicked her in the next. She's like, I would have kicked her in the next week.
Yes. She's been asking us about that all day. We told her because it's been seen on your TikTok like 365 times. Like 300 people, over 300 people have seen you.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
It's on Instagram too. It's on Instagram
Oh,
too. She's gonna be a star.
Yes. She's like, that many people, you think millions of people are gonna see it? And I was like, but yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're gonna
from home to there.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a documentary about the movie. Some actors said they had experiences. Were there a lot of that from crews or just the actor? That's a really good question. So as far as the crew and the cast, so Mark is the writer, the director, and this is his family house. So for him, like he's had tons of experiences over the years. His family has too. So we interviewed them about the house, and then we didn't tell the cast and crew that the house was haunted, right? Because we didn't want to do that. We're like, well, let's not like start everything out this way. Like let's let's we want them to be focusing on what's important in that moment, which is the movie and their lines and their roles and getting that right. So we didn't warn them ahead of time. So Jenna Shaw, who plays the mom Rachel, her name looks like it's spelled like Gina, is Jenna, Gena Shaw. And she plays the mom, Rachel, and she started having experiences and she didn't tell anyone. And she was, I think for people, like if it's not already common knowledge, like they can feel a little embarrassed about it. I think you're like, what are you seeing? Like, how do you go up to somebody and say like, hey, like I was just using the restroom and I saw a weird sparkly cloud,
right.
like gray, storm cloud, whatever it is, like right above me while I was washing my hands without sounding crazy. You feel a little embarrassed about it, I think. And so, she started having things happen to her. She started hearing things and seeing things. And then she even had things like follow her back to her apartment where she was staying for filming. And like things that were tied into the movie too. Like there's certain voices and songs and things that were following her. And so one of our it was our hairstylist Ashley, and she started talking to Jenna about it, and she just mentioned it. She's open to things, and they started talking. She's like, I saw the same thing too. So that opened up the ability, I think, for them to talk about it and also be like, what the baby, I don't know what he's saying. Like, what's this house? Like, what's happening here? Like, why are we both seeing the same things? And so then we started talking about it more, and we're like, well, yeah, like we do have behind the scenes cameras filming just in case, like just in case. Yeah. So, it became, it became a thing. So we did have the cast who was having issues. So, the crew too. Some people, were fine. Like some cast didn't notice anything. Some of our crew didn't see anything. And then there were other people who did start reaching out to me and Mark, particularly me, because I was on the ground running, like just handling, day-to-day stuff. You're not going to go straight to the director. You're not going to tell the director, hey, hey, Eric. Like, you're not going to come straight to the director and say, hey, like, your house is haunted. I'm going to quit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole thing. But like people started coming to me and they were concerned and they were worried. And, they said like, I'm having these weird things happen. And like, I think I just got hurt, nothing too big, but like something small. They're like, I felt something, or like something touched my leg or what, like these stories started coming out from people. And some people, whatever, they're already like, they're in Savannah, Georgia. I think people that are in Savannah are a little more open to these things. I think if you're not to it, maybe it's a little more shocking. This particular house probably it's a bit worse than most Savannah locations too. So people started coming to me in particular, and we actually had a couple people like threaten to quit. Some people did finish up. They're like, okay, this is a lot, and moved on to other projects. We had some crew because we're trying to save money, and when we started filming originally, there were some people who were going to stay in the house, like rooms we weren't filming in. It's a huge house, there's extra room, we could put them up there too, and then they're never going to be late, right? And it was like, I don't know how long, like less than a week or
Sorry,
a few.
my mom. That's why I got up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
no,
was. Yeah, my mom called. Go ahead.
mom and kids, and and Miss Jean always take precedence.
Yeah. Yes.
Miss Jean. But yeah, it was. They left within a few days. Like they tried it. They tried to stay, and it was just like, I'm going to a hotel. Like, this doesn't feel right. So people started picking up on it, and it did become an issue. And so we just kept rolling the cameras because we're like, well, let's just see. Let's just kind of see what happens.
Is he okay with living there? Like, everybody's like, oh, I would move. I wouldn't move, but I mean, maybe he's a lot like me because he's from the South, clearly. So like, we stand our ground with that kind of stuff, But it would be
right. I think since he's not here with us right now, I can say more. I think that, oh, my screen just went to blue. Oh, like I was going to say something. I think that he may be, I think he's so used to it.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, there's a bit of that. Also, I think he may be in denial a little bit about it too. I think that maybe, number one, he's used to it, right? So this is his family home. Like, he's spent years there. His family's been, it's a really special place. Like, he has an incredible family, and his dad in particular built this home, like, with his hands. So it's like, for him, it's a special place, and his memories in there, like, his love is there. So there's the love, that part of it's there, but there's also, something else that's really dark, and there's more than one dark thing. And so it's like, it's fighting against that. And so I think he just sort of like keeps going, day to day, and lives there, and just, it's like you hear like a really loud banging sound, which happens all the time. I think he just sort of like, oh, that's the wind, like we had one person we had one person that was staying in the upstairs bedroom, and she went to Mark, and she's like, I just keep hearing like these weird little, like, these weird sounds, like tapping and thumping, like all these sounds. And he's like, oh yeah, I think he told her, I think he said that there's like squirrels that get in the walls. Like, wow, like, I don't know how that would work structurally. In this wall that like doesn't even have another side. It's like open space behind it, these magic squirrels. So if anyone's wondering about a Savanna haunting house, it's just some squirrels in the walls.
A raccoon maybe got on the back porch or something,
So Zach asked, does the producer have any paranormal experiences of her own that made her want to make a paranormal movie?
You guys, you're spot on, Zach. Like, you're spot on. That's why we did it in the first place. You literally like nailed it. So, Mark and I, so he used to live out here near me too. Like, I'm in Los Angeles. He used to be out here, and that's where we met. We worked together for years. We met when I was going to UCLA, and we met on a student film. And we like to blame each other for this, but we were the rainmakers, right? So like, we literally were holding a hose, and it has this nozzle at the end, like this big long stick, and it goes above the window, and you like hold it, and it makes it look like it's raining outside. And a really low budget, student film for a friend of ours. So like, we're taking turns like holding this thing up, for the rain. And then like one of us, he dropped, if he was here, he'd argue me, but he dropped something on the ground, and into the pool, and we had to like fish it out of the pool. And so, we just got along really well. Like, we became really good friends from there, and we just loved working together. And so, Mark moved back to the South. So he's an actor as well, and he is in the movie. He plays William. And his very original character name, that is his real name, is William. So,
yes, it is.
Well, the pool scene was my favorite because I was sitting next to him, and I was like, she's like, and I'm like, I don't know, I aggravate, like, and I just wanted to see her turn red. And when she was making her comments, I was like, yes. I was doing that, yeah.
And especially the part where I'm sorry. What was the girl, the provocative girl's name in the movie?
Lilith.
Lilith.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Lilith was coming on to the young girl, she's like, I would have just slapped her.
I had a girl like that in college, and I found out later on down the road. Oh, it was great. It was great. Yes.
Oh, man, I want to watch it with her. Maybe that's
fun.
Maybe we do a streaming event with we'll do like a live, some sort of a watch party and or like commentary on it the whole time or something. But yeah, so Mark and I were business partners, and then he moved back out to Georgia because his family was there, and he went back home and he had, some family things. So he went back to the South, and I would come and visit him, for the holidays, for Christmas, just to check in. We were working on projects, doing things. And then I had my own experiences in the house. And of course, like the story goes, nobody told me the house was haunted. That wasn't part of the, hey, welcome to Savanna. You're going to stay in the most haunted room of the house. Yeah. Right. So it's the most beautiful room. It's the guest room. And it's, it's gorgeous. It's the floral bedroom. So if you've seen the movie, the room that is the little girl's room with the flowers, the only difference there really is the bed was switched out to, it's like a little girl's bed instead of a normal, it's like a full or a queen in there. So I was sleeping in there, and I had really like my most horrifying ghost experience I've ever had. And I'd never had a paranormal experience before. I'd had like dreams and little things here and there, but nothing that I recognized as a paranormal experience. And I was laying in bed, and I wake up, it's like middle of the night, probably, 4 a.m, and I feel like something's watching me, and I look, I don't see anything. And then I look down at my feet, and all of the blankets around my feet and my legs just drop down slowly, just push down around my legs. And, there's no rational reason. You always first think like, what's causing this? There's not what's causing that. And then I just lay there. I'm just so scared. And then I hear something, just this really demonic scream right next to my face. And so I was scared, out of my mind. I just waited until the sun came up. I laid there. I watched my phone. I, looked at cute videos of, Zoe Deschanel, New Girl and cat videos and just anything to possibly like just get my, I couldn't put my feet down next to the side of the bed, walk down that hallway, down the stairs, like, that was that stairwell, past the 1,500-gallon aquarium and into the main house. So there's just no way I was going to do that in the middle of the night. So I waited, hanging out with my ghost friends, I guess. I didn't know which is worse. And the morning I go down to the main, there's another living room on the other side of the house. And so I go down there, I'm waiting. And then his dad walks in, it's, sunrise. He's like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, well, it's haunted up there. And he's like, oh yeah, I know, sweetheart. I know. Well, you could come down. I was like, how did nobody tell me this? How did nobody tell me this? So, okay, good. Okay, that's a good question. He watched the movie. So yeah, it was straight up, it was haunted. So I told Mark, I'm like, this is our movie. Like, we're trying to figure out what we're going to, like, what is our next big movie? What are we going to do? What's this feature that we've been, planning? Like, this is it. This is the one. It's a Savanna haunting. And we're going to tell the story of this house and what's here. And we didn't know everything that was there, So we're like, okay, well, we'll film some behind the scenes as well and just kind of start figuring this out. We'll talk to people. We'll find out what's happened there. So that's how a Savanna haunting came to be. And Lauren asked a good question. Let me figure out how to get that. There we go. Out of everything that happened in the place. Okay, out of everything that has happened in that place is actually the movie. Okay, there's a lot of good questions. Okay, so back to Shrimp Crumb. Was there a costume designer or historical costume specialist hired for the film? Yes. So, we did our best with that for that scene. So in Savanna in particular, there's a lot of people who do reenactments, and there's like, war reenactments. There's parades and festivals and, people who get together and do this. So we got some of them, and they take it very seriously, if you get what I mean. Like, very seriously, and some of the questions we were getting, for the party scene, we're like, well, like, this wouldn't have been party attire. Like, would have been, we're like, okay, well, let's make it, as right as we can, following our limited budget. What our costume designer was worried that, there's like like they can't see the back of this scene because the zipper isn't quite isn't the right kind of zip. There's things like that. It's like we kind of did what we could, with limits. So it was as close as we could get, without, it wasn't like the dresses weren't from, the Civil War era. Out of everything that's happened in that place is actually in the movie. Uh, well, so the movie itself, like that family didn't exist. Like they weren't real people, but they were just, made up actors. But we wanted to base something around the house. So the house is really a character in the movie, and the house itself has its own, its own characters, its own dynamics, its own personality in a way, and I think that's made up of all these personalities and spirits and darkness that's there. So the movie was based on things that have happened in the property, like the major property area. There's a lot of, you had General Sherman's troops that went past there. You had the Civil War era. You had slavery. You had racism. Like those things that really tie in are in the movie. And then that was written not knowing all of the history of the area. So for us, like we started doing research, and we've had historians, we've been talking to paranormal investigators have come in, and they've started uncovering things that we didn't know when Mark wrote the script that are actually in the movie. So like the documentary will uncover these. Like, so there's things where, we've been finding documentation about a woman who was in this house and like where she's from, like how, her age. It's really incredible. Like we're going to see like where these things came from. Apparently they say that Mark isn't the one who wrote the script. It was the house.
Right. Okay.
That's brilliant. Really.
Back to the costumes. I thought the costumes were actually pretty good.
I loved it. I think the way just not even for that scene throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Every part of it was just done.
Fit their personalities really well.
Everything. Like even the part, and I have to admit too, one of my favorite characters was the one that Mark had played.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's real, it's
he's brutally honest.
It's raw, it's real,
very
it's
southern drawl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people should have a good appreciation for that. If they don't, they need to have a better understanding of the way things were down here and partially still are to a certain extent.
Yeah, so, that was a statement, that there was something there where, we have this script and there's words in it that are not something that you and I would normally say.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
that's
words
right.
Okay to say. They're not, it's not okay. And unfortunately, like we still live in a world that does have that. So for us, like if you want to tell a story about something horrible, and you have to have a character like William who says and behaves this way, because if you don't have the bad guy, you don't have a good guy. Like there would be no, and it's like we need to say like this is how it was. Like this, like these words, this horror, this terror, like what happened to people, like unfortunately, like this is how it was. And what he mentioned about how it's still there today, like it's not gone yet, and that's something that we have, we have to continue. And I noticed that it's heavy in the South. It's heavy in Savannah. I come in and from California, and it's a different feel. And not that there isn't that everywhere, but it's particularly it's very, very in Savannah.
I'm just gonna look back here at the comments.
Yeah, all the questions. These are really great questions.
Yes. What else, everyone? What else do you want to know besides pineapples? Kirk. That's a little inside joke.
That is a thing in the South, and they do have them on their doorsteps. Like there's statues of them, and they mean welcome. Okay, they mean welcome.
Pineapples. Really is pineapples?
I don't know if we have any in our. No, are they? Maybe they're in front of one of the downtown buildings. But pineapples is a thing in the South. They put them in front of the houses, and it means welcome.
Well, see, now we know what the pineapples mean.
Yeah.
That's and they mean welcome, but they also mean something else if you're going to like an RV park, vacationing. Somebody else, please talk about the pineapples. Don't make me explain it. Don't make me want to explain.
Trust me, Alexa. You don't want to hear their take on the pineapple.
Yeah, you don't.
It's for couples who are like vacationing and they want companionship from other.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
I like that your team.
So I don't know why that's why we're talking about. Last night, I guess we were talking about like people and like having special moments with ghosts. So I guess that's the theme for our weird themes. It's nice seeing you guys. And go.
Good night, Alfred.
Thanks. Local reenactors to nail down the historical ethic. Those, and it's cool too. Like the local reenactors were like, they're fun, and they're into it. And it's like for them, like this is what they're excited to do. Like for them to get to be part of the movie. I didn't know that. We have another meaning for pineapple. Ooh.
Yeah, we'll share that story with you later on down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's interesting for sure, the different meanings. But yeah, it was really fun because like we had these reenactors coming out and they're like, oh well, yeah, like this is how the costume needs to be. It needs to be fit this way, and like these would be the like. Well, do you want me to wear my dress shoes, or like it's like, well, whatever you would have worn to a party.
Yes.
And then also because it's in the South and it's Savanna, our costume designer. So her name is oh man, what was her name? It'll hit me. But she's been doing this for years. She's out of Florida, I believe. She came up from Florida, but she's costumed and designed so many movies and done so much of this. So I think that people like she was a specialist in this, so she knew how to dress them. And there's a local costume shop that was going out of business, and and so they were like, oh, okay, let's hit them up. So they actually purchased some things that we're able to use like for their collections too. So a lot of these costume designers have like some of their own costumes as well, and then they'll like rent and purchase things for a specific movie. But it's like if you're working on a lot of movies with the Civil War era, then you may want to have a collection of those dresses available, and then you can lend them and loan them out to the production.
Mm.
So in the beginning of the movie, or I guess kind of throughout, where they do an aerial shot of the yard and all the beautiful trees that you see everywhere here in Savanna, was that actually in Mark's yard?
Okay, let me think of all their spots for the drone stuff. A lot of those were shot over at the Myrtle Grove plantation.
Okay.
Right up the street but not all of it. I'm trying to think. I feel like we did shoot some stuff. Was it mostly Myrtle Grove? A lot of it was over there. That's like, 15, 20 minutes from that. It's nearby, a little ways. It's nice because we needed the long roads and we needed the privacy, where interrupting us. And it's just safe, to do it over there. And then, but we did do some as well on location. Like you see, like the first one of the house, like the first shot of the movie is at the house too.
Yes.
So we had drones there, and then we had some drones. You can see there's other drone footage downtown.
Yes.
It just makes it like those guys were great. Like they came out.
Really
it's just Savannah is so cool. Like we really wanted. Like you can't make a Savannah haunting and not show how beautiful Savannah is. So that's why we made sure to get to Forsyth Park. Some of the recognizable places as well.
Yes.
During COVID.
Yeah.
So going to anything you could recommend to do or not to do, say or not say during the investigation Thursday night. What do you mean by that, Zach? And Sandra, which is Josh's mom.
Yeah, that's my mother. Yep.
Have you ever seen something and went towards it, and what did it do? So that's, I think, for you, Alexis.
For me, have I ever seen something and went towards it? No, I would never go towards it. No.
Squirrels, Alexa. That's all they are. They're just squirrels.
They're just squirrels. No, I go the opposite way. I had another experience in one of the downstairs bedrooms. Not the one that April is in, but the one that plays as Andrews.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I saw things in there, and I didn't go towards it. Like I stayed away. Like I was so scared in that room. Like every time I had to go I had to turn off the light on a switch at one point, right? You have to go over, click a switch, and then get into bed.
Yeah.
there wasn't like a lamp next to the bed to turn on. So I would like go over, do the switch, and I would leap from the wall into the bed. Like I would dive in. I would jump as far as I could, and I would run at it and jump into the bed, and it would go poof, like against the wall because I didn't want to walk next to the edge of the bed. You know, like it's just like underneath the bed. Like I can't see what's down there. Like we have multiple stories about things grabbing ankles in this house.
Nice. Okay.
Stories, like past, like more recently, you know, not like hurting, but just like touching and.
Yes. Oh my.
My mother is
So
personally.
I just go near the edge of a bed.
Well, fair enough. So you just flip the light switch off and then jump from one side and jump in the bed?
As far as
my mother is complete opposite of you. She would be all about that stuff. She was all obsessed with the ghost and paranormal stuff. So I guess that's why she was asking, because I'm pretty sure my mother would go right toward it. You know, she'd want a conversation with it. And I mean, I'm just speaking the truth, you know?
Lauren said, well, I like the costumes. The part that the ghosts are in a party and you could see the Confederate uniforms.
Yes.
Really centered the timeline for me. Absolutely.
Very good Confederate.
Well, walk in because you might recognize one of the ladies. I play like 6 different.
Were you? I didn't
really?
notice
No
that.
idea. No.
We're gonna have to check that scene out again for sure.
2 different high schoolers. Because we were shooting doing COVID, right? Like we were in COVID. Like we all had to play extras. Like my daughter like walks by with me in the park. I have like everybody had to be in it. Like, oh, you're here. Like you're already COVID tested. You're good for set. You're cleared. Okay, then you're gonna play X, Y, and Z. Like our if you see the beginning of the movie, there's some construction workers that play there.
Yeah.
That medic and our second AD.
That's
really
so neat. Sorry, was the graveyard a real one or was it a set?
That was a set. You know, that's a tricky thing. Like there are so many beautiful graveyards in Savannah, but when you're shooting a movie, you have a lot of people and there's cameras and there's gear, you know, there's tripods and lights and ladders and people. And so it just, you know, we don't want to go stomping around on people's graves.
Right.
You know, it just would have been disrespectful. You know, when you're shooting things, like stuff can get damaged. Like we didn't want to even, you know, possibly do that. So we built that. Also, that's also on the same property from Myrtle Grove where we shot the plantation. That was the same place. And then I think there was another question about the gravestone during the plaque.
Yes, I was
that. Good eyes. We put that in because we are hinting at, you know, the family that you see later.
Right.
But not that. And like, so we actually have a lot of little secret hidden things in the movie. So like there's things that are like clearly there, you know, that are, and then there's a lot of little hidden like shadow man's in there multiple times. And he's based on a real shadow figure that has been seen mostly. Shadow Man's been seen a lot, like just right outside of the house, like near the windows and the sliding glass doors. And Shadow Man has been seen, I think, is a different one. Also inside the house, kind of up on the mezzanine. So he's around. He's a real. He's there. But so he is based on real things. So we put him in there. But as far as like the tombstone, like we wanted that. It's mausoleum. We wanted that to tie in for those people who are really paying attention, because this isn't something you watch once. A lot of people watch a Savannah haunting multiple times, and every single time they figure out something else that they didn't notice before, you know, or like, you know, you notice, you know, one of our little, you know, secret things. I've had people reaching out and say that they haven't, like, they didn't even notice that there's like, you know, they're finding possible ghosts within there too. So I'm like, hey, if you find something, you know, send it over. I'd like to see, and we can check it out ourselves, and we can check our raw footage and, you know, blow it up and stuff and look and see like, okay, what are you seeing in there? What did we?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You had the shadow man sitting at the dining room table, correct?
Yes.
Because
We've
the
seen
first time
that.
I saw that, no, we didn't see that. I saw that. I had to rewind that because I was like, there's some dude sitting at the table.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, who is this? And I went back and I was like, you see it? And she's like, yes, I see it. And then I thought, maybe that's a figment of our imagination, but the movie is almost like a detective movie. It's like if you're smart, like we didn't even know you were in there. I'm sorry, I apologize, but we
don't notice. I hope that nobody sees, because I'm playing like a high school student. You know, I play like, I wanted to be in the end party scene. I was like, this will be really fun. You know, it's like that. I wanted to get dressed up, and you know, girls want to be pretty. We were, you know, traipsing around and sweaty and gross, and Savanna, and you know, bugs bit up, and you know, but we also wanted to have some fun too. But yeah, I want to see what else, you know, people find, how many times they can find Shadow Man, because I don't think anyone has found him every single time yet. Like, people have reached out to me about, like, they've seen some of them, but there's one in particular towards the beginning of the movie that nobody has reached out about yet.
Oh,
nice. So now we're gonna have to watch it like 6 or 7 more times.
Yeah, we got to stop looking at you know, start looking around backgrounds and things, and not just the pretty people.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the party scene. My mom can vouch for me, but ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to wear one of those dresses.
The Victorian.
Who does, right? Come on, if you're a girl, like, you want to do that at least once.
I'm so one day.
Sure.
Girl, we better do another one, right? We better do another one and get you out.
Okay, so what do we have? Zach said, does the producer recommend anything that could trigger a response from the spirits in the house Thursday? That's a good question.
I don't think you're gonna have much of a problem.
Good.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was worried. So I told you, so the Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, they just came out. These guys are on like a ton of TV shows. Like, this is what they do all the time. Brandy came out with them. She's a medium, and she just wrapped on a show called 28 Days Haunted. It's a Netflix show, and she had to stay in a property for 28 days.
Yes.
And, you know, and I'm like, they're driving. It's like it was 15 hours for them to. Right? I'm like, they're driving all the way out here. Like, what if nothing happens? You know, like this whole trek, like, if they just show up and it's just quiet. And, you know, they hang out, you know, eat a sandwich, like, wait around, nothing happens. And so I was honestly like, I was nervous about that. And they show up and they're like, oh, this is bad. Right. So then, like, they went, got some food, came back, you know, and set up, started getting things ready. And like Brandy said, this is the worst, like, this is the most she's ever felt in a house before. And so she, like, couldn't even go to sleep. Things happened to them the next day that, like, I have all this on camera, and this will go in the documentary. Like, that have never happened to them before. Like, just, it was just horrifying. And so they left. Like, they left. They were supposed to stay 2 more days. It was a 15-hour drive to get there, and they picked up and left. So I do think that, I think, you know, we've talked about this before with the house, you know, in a Savanna haunting, is there's layers to it. So if you show up, you're not going to just like, here's everything like all at once. Like, this is exactly, or it's like, oh no, there's just this one old scary ghost. Good question, Terry. Sorry, I love seeing these. These are really good questions. But like, there's just there's layers and layers, like an onion. So as you like dig in, there's more and more things, and it's like we're finding that, like, there are people who have passed in the area who were great, like, they were good, kind people, and they're looking out for Mark and his family, and I think that they're working on overdrive right now, trying to protect everyone. I really do. And then you have things that are dark, like we had a demonologist come out, you know, and so, like, they're saying, like, you know, we've had a medium explain to us. She said, what's in this house is not a dead human, it's something darker.
Right.
So I don't know what it is in there, but there's something else in the house that it may not have been from a person, and been told that vortex of some kind, which I'm curious to see if you can find the spot in the house where this is, but the things are going in and out a lot too.
Right.
House. So you have like these, like spirits entering, leaving. And then you have the ones that are stuck there. And we have some we think that are keeping some spirits there that want to leave.
Right.
And there's spirits that are from, the Victorian era, Civil War. Like we have spirits that are, probably revolutionary. Like, I mean, you also have Indian burial grounds, right?
Yeah.
Like a ton of Indian, Native American history. You have the war, people who died in General Sherman's troops. And then you have just like people who were there like in more recent times, and then you have like the 60s and the 70s and people who knew his dad and were around and partying and family, and then also just the area. Like there's something about this road, I'm not going to say the name of the road, but there's a lot of accidents near here. There's a lot, and it's just there's a curve in the road, something, but people die there. Like there have been multiple deaths. Like I'll see it on the news. Like another person, a lot of people people walking get hit by cars. Just kind of weird things like that. It's just something with the area that seems to attract negativity. So to answer the question, I think that I think that there will be things there that are making themselves known, and I think that some will show off as well because they want the attention tied in with the movie.
I realize there's other questions. I just was curious, was anybody able to actually date how far back the property goes when a homestead was built there?
We have some names, which I'm not going to give you. And I'm not going to give you the date or the year.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you anything. You have to figure it out. I'll tell you later when the movie comes out. But I do think that we know it's not like exactly like right on top of Mark's house. It's within like a couple miles. Like, so you have these plantations, they're called homesteads, right? Yeah. That are built, and then things happen that, and then they grow, they do farming, they have slaves, and there's been multiple families, and I think more than one of these plantations over the years, because we did find out that one of them was burned. So we do know we can go back all the way to the 1700s with who was there and who had the property there.
Okay. Hi, Helen, and who else? Thomas. Okay, so let's catch up here. Sorry.
We'll wrap it up here in a few minutes. And let's just get these, if that's okay.
Everything. No, these are awesome questions. So thanks to you guys.
Okay, so we have Aussie Steve. Aussie Steve is from Australia, obviously. And he's one of the people that couldn't get access to the movie. So we're trying to figure out if we could buy a hard copy and mail it to him. Is there hard copies available? Do you know?
It's a battle. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. It's just hard because there's just so few people that are buying DVDs now.
Right.
I know.
It's like to come like for the production to do it, like for the distributors, it's not yet.
Okay.
But I'm fighting for it because we have a lot of fans. We have people who are like want this for their collection.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I'll make sure that does happen. But we are going to come out in other countries soon. So we here domestically in the US, but we are going to be all of those sales deals are actually currently being worked out for other countries. So we will be in other countries too soon. But yeah, I mean, heck, we could send them a DVD or something. I don't know. I don't know how to burn it. I don't have a DVD burner.
Lauren said, well, I know the little girl is seen between the rock wall when the family comes in.
Yes, that's one of our obvious ones. So keep looking for even harder things to find. We'll be in Australia, I promise. And we'll as we start coming out. Okay, where can we see the movie? We have been seeing. Okay, so if you just look up the movie, and they can post. We have a link tree which has like links to everywhere you can buy it. But Savanna Haunting is currently on iTunes, which is Apple TV. It's on Amazon Prime, so you can go there. You can buy it, rent it on all these places. It's on Vudu, VUDU. It's on YouTube. You can buy it and rent it on YouTube, Comcast, and Spectrum. And those are our
Amazon. Said Amazon?
She said
Oh, I'm
Amazon
sorry.
Prime, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon. Like you can, and you don't like you don't have to buy it. You can rent it. But if you rent it, then you only get it for, I don't know, it's like 48 hours or something. So if you want to watch it again to try to find stuff that you missed the first time, you can.
We said that too. It's like $5.99 to rent it, and then like $9.99 to buy it.
Well, and you know what? Actually, my mom, who's from Canada, in Canada, she was trying to rent it and looking all over the place. So she finally found it on YouTube, and she bought it.
Yeah.
But in Canada, it's $16.99.
Things are a little bit different,
but it's worth every penny. I'll tell you that much.
Ew.
So, we're quickly going through Shrimp Crumb. Art imitates life. Many people report seeing shadow people out of the corner of their eye, not directly through sleep paralysis. I wonder how many people experience sleep paralysis at the home.
That's a good question. I mean, as far as shadow person, so like so it was a medium that we were interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
We're just sitting, like right with her, talking to her, and she just keeps like looking up, like kind of staring up at the mezzanine, and she's like, "Oh, like he's there, like he's standing." So she could see him just straight on, look at him, and see the shape of him.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh," she told me he doesn't like me. So that gave me the chills. I was like, I wonder if he's, the one. And then the other one, there was a shadow man that one of the siblings used to see a lot. Mm-hmm. And for that story, you watch the doc and it'll go into more details and you can see the room. But that was out of April's bedroom. If you've seen the movie, there's the purple little girl's room.
Yeah.
That was April's room. And that's where she used to see him every night.
Wow.
Straight. So basically, like I don't want to like give away everything from the doc, but like she would look through the glass, right? Like she'd be in bed, like getting ready for bed, like reading. She used to stay up late at night and read all the time with a flashlight. And every night, like she'd look out and she would just see like the shape of a man standing there in the window. And it's like, it wasn't like every single hour of every single night, but he would come every night. And it's like she would see like street lights, the backyard lights and stuff. And then it would just be the shape of a person, with nothing through it. So the people that have talked about him weren't actually asleep. They were conscious.
Wow. Terry asked, what was the meaning behind the flowers? Always dead the next day. Does that happen now? Why was that added to the movie?
That was that's because nothing can survive in this house.
Oh, okay, good.
Very
makes sense.
But good, nothing survives there. Something can't live very long there. And so we let the flowers represent that. But good eyes.
I just got goosebumps from that answer. Okay, so that one was answered. I can't see. Okay, that's creepy. The whole town is haunted. Okay. Where can we? Okay, so I think we're all caught up now. Hi, Frank the Tank.
Okay.
We're gonna, I think,
wrap.
We're already at just about an hour, so
it was fun.
It was. So once again, you guys, the movie is called A Savanna Haunting. If you haven't seen it, you have to, because it is awesome. It's inspired. I have to remember to say the inspired by true events. And it's also filmed in the actual haunted house, which is where we will be going to investigate in a couple of days, this Thursday, December 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. And we're also going to be uploading with probably TikTok and see what else we can do there. Anything else, babe?
That's it, I think. I'm excited. Thank you, Alexis.
Alexis, thank you so much for coming on and with absolutely everything. And we're just really excited. Not only are we excited about the investigation, but we are excited about this movie because it's an awesome movie. Let's face it, you guys.
You guys, thank you so much for having us. Yeah, everyone enjoys it, and I'm so excited. It is like Christmas for me for Thursday. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, us too.
So right, have a great night, everyone, and
we'll talk to you later, Alexis, or she will. Y'all become texting.
That's very well. We're like,
I know.
All right, good.
A little while, okay?
Oh yeah.
Or two, okay. All right. We'll see y'all later, okay?
See you, and hey, guys.
We keep it spooky. That's what we say. All right, Alexis, bye.
Good night.